Hello and good morning. This is Andy McCann, your host, where I am trying to help you lay a firm foundation in fitness, food, and finances. I think last week was finances? No, maybe that was 2 weeks ago. Anyway, we're back to the fitness side and maybe a little bit of food. I have a buddy, Ken Daniels. Actually, let me pull up his website for you. Right here, it is Ken Daniels, the bloodsugarchef.com. So bloodsugarchef.com. And he is basically recovering from or going on a journey of recovery for some rough life living. And he is fixing the way he eats. He's fixing food. I mean, he's a chef by trade. Well, actually, he does a lot of stuff. But probably the biggest thing that I want to tell you guys is if you're trying to eat low-carb carnivore lifestyle, you can go to his website. And he has taken the recipes that the new diabetes group, it's a bunch of carnivore doctors have gotten together and said, hey, they're doing this wrong, let's do it better. They gave you some meal plans. He actually said this is how you would cook it. Anyway, he has given me a lot of cool questions because he is starting into CrossFit. And he's like, hey, I know a guy, it's Andy. Let me ask him a bunch of stuff. And I love it. I forget what you guys do and don't know. So I'm going to go through some of his questions. And because if you go back to the original of the beginning of this podcast, you are going to hear a lot of that stuff. What I probably should do is re-listen to my own podcast and then redo some of those because I bet you my mindset has changed some. I'm still into constantly varied functional movements executed at high intensity sometimes. I like that method, but I also like expressing it in terms of fun. And so we're going to talk about some of the fun things you should be doing as well. Okay, so I got a couple of things ahead of you or in store for you. Most of it is going to be around what is CrossFit, what is the programming, why do we do this, and then I'm going to drop into some of the fun things you should be doing as well, or vice versa. Yeah, I'll do the housekeeping first. Okay, I have a page for you guys. It is crossfitgarage.com/free, and it's got all the stuff that I talk about that I should turn into content. I put it right there so you can get a hold of it. It's got 32 at-home workouts, regain your mobility, your expiration date quiz, all sorts of stuff that you can use and do on your own for free. Go there, click on it, download it, whatever. The other thing I've got for you is garagefitness.online, which is if you've got a basement or a garage full of gear and you wonder how to use it, we're doing that. We'll probably be changing the program up some because of just, I don't know, it's logistically gets kind of tough to do things when you put it on paper. It sounded good, and when you try to put it into practice for a year, it's a little bit tougher than you thought. So maybe have some changes there. Nothing much that you guys would really notice, but on the back end. Anyway, we also have here in in Woodstock, here at CrossFit Garage, our Summer Strength for Students program. We've been running this since, my kids were super young, so it was probably 2012 is when we started it. So this program's got to be over 10 years old. Anyway, we take students Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we teach them to lift. We follow Mark Ripeto's Starting Strength. That's a great program. It's a linear progression program, which basically means add more weight next week. It's just linear, so we add a little weight at a time. Progression, we progress over time. So it's not a time under tension. It's not crazy. It's just lift and then add some weight next week. And the kids do really well with that. So our biggest thing is to teach them form. If your child is not going through puberty at the moment, then it's not as helpful in terms of strength. Now, it is helpful in terms of body positioning. So my kids use this and advance themselves in soccer pretty handedly because they know how to control their body. So even squeezing your core better can change the way you kick. So we've got that for you. The other thing we got for you is a bunch of these groups I'm putting on GroupMe. So not as many people use Facebook anymore, and Instagram and Snapchat aren't great ways to communicate, and I don't actually use those really well anyway. So I'm going to sort of an old school thing. I was using texts with text groups, but text groups are tough because people come in and out, and I can't adjust that. I don't know. I guess you can hide it. Anyway, GroupMe seems to be an okay app to run some stuff. So what we've got is some summer gamers. This is actually mostly just for fun. Evan had a great idea. Hey, let's build community. We like board games, so let's do that on Thursday over the summer. And we like D&D. Let's bring people in and do a thing. So you can be a one and done. You just showed up and met some people and then left, never came back. Or you could be a recurring person. So we've got summer gamers. There's a GroupMe link for that. Let me know if you want to have that. We have a CrossFit Garage men's group. So you need to be a member and you need to be you needed to be like an adult, but I guess you could be, how would I do that? You need to be male, obviously. And then I would say if you are I don't want you to be dependent on your dad. So you have to be able to drive for sure. High school, maybe. College, yes. And, you're searching for becoming better. If you're not, then that's not for you. If many children, they are the main character and it's all about them. It's not really about that. This is about community and growing as a man. We also have the CrossFit Garage race competitions and events group. So if you're into that stuff, we got a group for you. You can sign up. We'll do adventure races, savage muddy races, obstacle races, CrossFit competitions, whatever. It's going to be for all those people that like to express their fitness in form of competition. Then we also have the CrossFit Garage homesteading group. So I guess you don't really need to be in the gym for that, but this is us that do chicken and garden and stuff. So we're building that group. And then we have the CrossFit Garage pickleball group. This one, again, is for anybody. You don't actually have to be a member. We're just trying to find people that like to play pickleball and a way to find us to create game times. Okay, so we just did the CrossFit Level 1 over the weekend of the 3rd. So I know this podcast comes out a week later. I'm recording this right now on the 5th. And it was great. Thank you, Caroline, for being there and hosting them. And then I showed up on Sunday after my race and met them. I had a very nice card from let's see, who was it? From Angela. She gave everyone in the gym a compliment for keeping it so nice. So thank you guys for keeping the gym so nice. Angela, whoever you are, thank you. Not many people are as thoughtful to drop off cards and stuff. So yeah, thank you very much. Anyway, if you're a member and you're thinking, I would like to learn more about CrossFit, then we had Jeff and Matt go through the CrossFit Level 1. Meredith was going to. She'll be popping into another one. And they said it was a great way to learn these fundamentals that maybe we talk on, but we don't drill into. And so I think it's very helpful to understand why we do what we do. Now, I don't really know how a car works, yet I know it drives, and I'm okay using it. Actually, I do know how a car works. But you know what I'm saying is you don't know how a cell phone works, but you use the cell phone. You don't have to know why CrossFit works. You just have to show up and let it work. The problem when you don't really know is you start saying things like I had one of our members said, I'm interested in doing an adventure race. I got to start training cardio. I'm like, what do you think we're doing? So CrossFit does everything. And then we're going to talk about that for a moment in a second here. The next thing coming up is on September 20th, a couple of us, I think there's like 5 or 6 of us so far, are doing this Blairsville adventure race on September 20th, 2025. It is a 10-hour race. And you may think to yourself, can I do this? If you're doing CrossFit right now, the answer is yes. So come join us. All right. Oh, another fun one. I have signed myself up to be a DM at the Blue Ghost on Tuesday night. So we'll see. I think it's probably going to be like every other Tuesday. But yeah, I'm going to get out there and meet some new people and do a thing I like. See if I like doing this for other people. I enjoy playing games and I enjoy meeting people. Our ulterior motive is to meet people like me that, like to play games, but probably aren't really fit. Can I help them? Yes, I have a gym. I usually bring the gym people into board games. Can I bring board game people into the gym? Can we fill it with people that we like? Maybe. I don't know. But if I don't do a thing, then I'll never know. All right, so 2 other things that I wanted to throw out at you guys is I listen to and do some stuff with Living Free in Tennessee, Nicole Sauce. She is a homesteading gal that puts on events. It's awesome information. She also has a podcast, as well as The Survival Podcast with Jack Spirko. He's been doing podcasts since like 2007 or something. And I've been listening to his episodes for years and learned a lot and have been out to many other events. So if you're into the homesteading arena, these 2 people play big time in that spot. Okay, so the questions that I got from Ken, I'm just going to go through these in order because I'm sure you guys have thought the same thing. I love the way he starts off. He says, CrossFit Noob question. So yes, you guys, if you have questions, please bring them to me. I forget what you guys need to know because it's been a long time for me. All right, he says, how are the WODs and warm-ups created? So that is a great question. I will say it varies between gyms. So I'm just going to answer for our gym. What we do right now is we follow CrossFit affiliate programming. Let me pull that website up. All right, so yes, it is true. This is a podcast and a YouTube video. If you're watching the video, obviously it's more visually stimulating. But I pretty much only listen to things via podcast. So yeah. Anyway, so they give us some tools. They upped our fee from $1,000 to $4,500. Yes, I know. Yay. And in that, they said, hey, we're going to provide you a few things. So they did increase the value. Is it, $3,000 worth of value? No, but I mean, it's still, as an affiliate fee, it's relatively inexpensive. But what they do is they give us some programming. So Wodify will upload their programming, and then when I see it, I do some editing to make it a little bit more sense for us. So they give us programming. Let me see. They also have just regular old programming that anybody can follow. But let's see. Yeah, there was our workout for today. So today on the 5th, Monday, it was row and toes to bar. So they have got the intended stimulus and then the coaching goals. So I like this stuff because even as a almost 20-year veteran coach of CrossFit, I forget sometimes, like, oh yeah, that's a nice little thing. Or I typically like to nitpick on this or that. So this coaching goals gives me different things to look at, to consider. Also the stimulus. So we struggled for many years to get this point across. I love the intended stimulus idea. It tells you what the programmer had in mind. CrossFit typically is an 8 to 12 minute workout. It's constantly varied functional movements executed at high intensity. The how you know it's working is, are we increasing our work capacity across a broad time and modal domains? And if you are, then you're doing well, right? And so that's what we're trying to push for. So I like having this. This stuff looks nicer on this write-up. It looks better on this webpage. They will import it into Wodify so our coaches can see it. So they get to see stuff. Since we have some newer coaches, actually everyone's been doing this for a while now. I guess Jamie is the newest, but she's been doing CrossFit for, I don't know, like 10 years or something. But it gives them ideas that maybe they haven't thought of, or helps them build an outline for the class. So we try to stay timely, and we try to, so what is the thing? Always start and end on time. Make sure they have fun, make sure they sweat, and coach something. Anyway, so they provide this for us. They do have a video for the coaches. You can watch that. It's on YouTube. And then they always have demonstration videos linked to it. They throw out a class plan, which when you're brand new, it's super helpful. When you've been doing this for a while, you can pretty much, well, I'm not saying wing it. You use your experience to put the pieces together. So I typically will still even write it on a whiteboard. Anyway, it gives you fun things to look at and to help us out. So they do this for us, and they do it for every day. I just noticed that Sundays they're now taking breaks, so there's nothing written on Sundays, which we don't really do anything on Sunday anyway. It's an open gym time, so you can pretty much go in and do whatever you want. We do have 24/7 access, so if you need that, it comes through the back door, and you just put in the code or use your phone, and you can get into the gym and do a thing. I realized just recently that the door locky thing I bought only has like, I think 30 user codes. I didn't know that. I should have looked at that beforehand. So I have to add people and remove people as we get to 30. But anyway, it's there for you to use. So we use CrossFit affiliate programming. You can program on your own. Like I will go in there and edit it. So we did tire flips and we did Atlas stones, which obviously we don't have, or we do have, but CrossFit doesn't know we have it. So they will never program that stuff. So I do make some tweaks. I almost tweaked it because Friday we did rowing and then today we did rowing, and typically I don't put them back to back like that. It was different type of rowing, but still same, right? Tomorrow we've got running, and I was like, I may not do that, except they did running and back squats. So I'm like, okay, I do like the pairing. You can chill on the run to like relax your legs. This is going to be tough. People are going to see this and they'll be like, oh no, my legs, they hurt more than I thought. That's exactly right. They do. Okay, so you can buy programming for anywhere. You can do it yourself. For a very long time, I programmed it. I had other coaches program it. We bought it. Did we ever buy it? No, I don't actually think we ever bought programming from somebody else. So that's a good question. Did I ever buy them and load it in there? No, I think I either had one of our coaches doing it or we followed it and we just entered it in. Anyway, so right now it comes from CrossFit. It's called their CAP, CrossFit Affiliate Programming. Okay. They have a warm-up that they write up for us as well. We adjust the warm-up as we see fit. I typically, I don't know, I guess it's preference. I don't like the warm-up they do sometimes. So I change it sometimes a tiny bit, sometimes dramatically. All right, next question. I love this. Is there a National Council of CrossFit Bible that dictates the programming? No. So constantly varied functional movements executed at high intensity. That's it. So anything could be CrossFit on that day, but If I did only running style workouts, then I would not consider that CrossFit. Or I wouldn't consider HIIT, high intensity interval training, CrossFit either, because they only do that. CrossFit would say that in some days you need to lift something heavy. It needs to be a heavy deadlift. HIIT or running isn't going to have that. Now, if I was only lifting, you could say like, well, it's kind of CrossFit, but there's no running ever, right? So CrossFit attacks everything. And what you find is the pain point is different in everyone depending on where you're at. So for example, my brother always says, all these workouts are so breathy. I always say these workouts are heavy. He doesn't think they're heavy. I think they're heavy. He thinks they're breathy. I feel like, well, I've got my air all the time. I'm never in a bad place with that. So it just depends on where you're at, right? Does the programming come from the owners of the gym? So yes, the owner can do whatever he wants. CrossFit is an affiliate, not a franchise. Means we don't pay as much in the fee, but we also don't get much support. And I'm okay with that. I have tried a lot of different ways to run the gym, and I have found that they are both successful and unsuccessful in their times of the season, right? So back in, 2000, when we moved the gym to the current location, so 2010, we couldn't help but make money. We couldn't help but get new members. I mean, we would do, in retrospect, a lot of stupid stuff, and people were still coming. You just couldn't go wrong. We have spawned off. We did so well. We spawned off so many gyms. I mean, literally, you can get to one gym by walking like 10 steps at their next door, or maybe like 20 steps, right? You can get to another gym if you drive 1 minute. It's just down the street and take a right. And then from there, I mean, within 10 minutes of us, there's probably like, 5 gyms. So CrossFit only type gyms, right? So we did a good job building it and spawned other gyms. The locale was good or whatever. But it's an affiliate that I can run and do as I see fit rather than being told. Now, again, sometimes it ran really well, like I said, back in the day. Sometimes it ran very stupid. I mean, when COVID hit, CrossFit really did not give us much help or advice. It all came from like Two Brain Business. So it was good to be part of that group because they knew ahead of time what was coming from their gyms across the ocean. Okay, another good question. Does the programming have weekly cohesion, or is it just trying to cross-train every body part? So the answer is yes, yes, and yes. So there should be constantly varied, not random, right? So it should be varied, but you do want to mix it up as much as creativity will allow. Some people say, well, there's no core stuff. We really don't do a lot of like sit-ups. To that, I would say CrossFit is a core to extremity program. Everything we do is core. If you don't squeeze your core in a back squat, you will fail miserably. So everything is core. My abs are delicious because, one, I don't eat sugar or processed foods or any breads or even vegetables at the moment. So my body fat is way low, so the abs are underneath the fat. But with that body fat gone, you get to see what CrossFit has done. I've got 6 abs poking out. I don't have an 8-pack, but I do have a 6-pack, and I'm 51. This is awesome. It's good stuff. Can't wait for the beach, right? So there is supposed to be some cohesion. Sometimes it looks like there's not, and usually that's because you don't understand the cohesion. So, for example, we did row on Friday and row today. Does that make sense? I'm inclined to say, maybe they overlooked that, but I don't know the process. I didn't go back and watch all the videos, so I don't know. There could have been a very valid reason they've done that. For example, many times they do a thing like, hey, we have a bunch of air squats today, and then tomorrow we're doing heavy back squats. And I have had you guys say, Andy, that makes no sense. It's never going to work. And then someone like Alan Lindsay goes the next day, Andy, I know I said it didn't work and it was going to be weird, but I PR'd. So obviously it does. And that's the point, right? So sometimes it does a thing that we didn't understand, and that's okay. We're going to follow the process. So there's supposed to be cohesion. It's constantly varied, not random. Now, the thing that I would kind of avoid in sort of CrossFit, but I also kind of like, is when you're lifting or going for an event, you would periodize your training. So for example, I just did this adventure race. It was 10 hours in the woods. I should elevate my training, increase the work capacities and stuff as the weeks go. And as I get close to the event, I taper down, right? Or I help my body understand that there's this sine wave of effort and I want to hit the top end of that effort where my body has had enough rest and recovery to produce maximum results. Well, no, I don't race for that reason, so I don't care. So actually, I had who was it? It was Denny. Denny said, "Hey, I'm about to do this race. Should I taper off?" I said, "It depends. Are you trying to win it, or are you just there to have fun?" He's like, "Yeah, just there to have fun." I'm like, "Well, then never give up your training here in the gym. Come and work out." And so I do the same thing. I'll just go into the gym, and maybe the day before, I'll just row or do the workout super light. I'm still training, but I don't care to win. So is there weekly cohesion? Yes. Should I periodize the training? Not really. And then should I have cycles? So you'll hear someone say, we're going to do a deadlift cycle, and they're just working on the deadlift. Well, technically what we do is working on the deadlift. Now, if it's a skill, I could see where that would come into play, because you need to touch skills over and over. A deadlift is going to get better over time because it's just a raw strength thing. You're going to stand up with a weight and it'll come up. But if you want to progress in your double unders, a skill, you have to actually practice your double unders. Or rope climb, right? Especially something like the rope climb is like when you get the knack, you're like, oh, now I can go up. And it's like a huge barrier to entry, but once you're in, then you're in. Okay. The second part of that question is, does it work to train every body part? The answer to that is yes. You should feel the thing that lacks the most, the most. So again, going with, I'll just use my brother. He'll say something like, man, my legs are sure sore. And I'll say, wow, that's interesting. It's my traps or my lats or something that's sore from the workout. Why? Because our bodies are shaped differently. Now, me and my brother are actually shaped relatively similar, but you know what I'm saying. So if you have a body part that's out of whack, CrossFit will expose that and help bring it up. And since it's the limiting partner, it's going to feel the worst. Now, some people fix that with gear, and I'm not the biggest fan of that. A very far extreme would be, my legs are great at lifting, but my back is not so good. So what I'm going to do is belt up and get a bigger deadlift. So I'm not a fan of that, because you have an artificial thing that your back can't really support. So you're using the belt to kind of like give you outward pressure rather than internal pressure to lift. I would say don't do that. But I mean, that's me. If you're into that, you're into that. That's fine. You're there working out. I'm happy for you. Okay, this is great. I love it. This comes up a lot. I guess I should answer this in some form or fashion, but it's like, you'll get it as you go. So is there a dictionary that everyone nationwide gets after 6 weeks to help them understand the abbreviations and the vernacular? The answer is no. I did just type in to search dictionary of CrossFit terms. And it gave me some. So they gave the AI answer, which, how long is it? Oh, actually, damn, it's really long. So, it's actually does a lot of hero words in there. That's weird. Keeps doing hero workout. I guess it got stuck. I confused the AI. So here is CrossFit Terms, a dictionary of jargon. Okay, this is from Boston CrossFit. Let me open up that one, and then I'm going to open up another one called markpro.com. It's got some stuff. Wadhopper's got some terminology. Okay, so here's a couple ones. Let me see if these sites are any good. Oh, wow. This is hard to read, but this hurts my eyes. And it does have a lot of terms on there. Yeah, so the answer is yes. You can go find it, at least on that page. Oh, this is better. Okay, I like this one. Maybe it was just a black on white rather than white on black. So this is Macro Pro. You got to find the link. Whatever. Just go in there and say Dictionary of CrossFit Terms, and it'll pull this stuff up. Let me see if AMRAP is in there. AMRAP. Yeah, AMRAP's there. So it's got, I could have just looked. It's going to be right there at the beginning. Here's another one. This one. Actually, this one's okay, and it gives some pictures to go with it. Fire breather. An optimistic, hardworking CrossFitter who works hard, finishes fast, and sticks around to cheer everyone on. Fire breather. I love it. Okay, so I should read through some of these. Front squat, FS, yeah. Games competitor. Oh, okay, I got that. The girls, CrossFit girls, are a series of workouts that are foundational in CrossFit. And so I guess I would have said it different. They're named workouts after either hurricanes or some of the ladies that were well known in the beginning of CrossFit's start. So Fran, Chelsea, Annie. So Fran's a hurricane. Chelsea and Annie are people. Greg Glassman, look at that, give an answer for him. Handstand push-ups. All right, so these are pretty good. So the answer is yes. what I find weird is that, oh, this is a very good one. Look how long that one is that CrossFit.com does not have their own terminology list. Let me go back and look to see if they've got a terminology list. Okay, so I opened up 2 pages. One was the movements. So they do have movements, and then, yeah, these are all movements. I'm gonna do a control find AMRAP. So they don't even as many, nope. So it's movements, but not vernacular. So go to CrossFit.com and you'll see all the movements. And then I got one, which is our coach's course. Let's see if they've got anything on there in terms. No, good luck. So no terms. Actually, I guess I should probably create that page then and make it somewhere where it can sit for everybody. I did have, can I think of his name? I can't. It was an older gentleman that was at the gym. Oh man, I can see his face. I can't think of his name. But he said, hey, could you put pictures of all the movements around the gym? And I've seen other gyms that do that. And I said, no, because that would be a lot of work. And it's only useful for like, not very long until you're like, oh, that's right. It's a lot of work and a lot of pictures up for something that you're going to get in short order if you just pay attention. So I never did it. I did like the idea, but I knew it's too creative and artsy and I just would never actually do it. So I said, no, but I'll send you a website. And so CrossFit now has a pretty good website for all the movements, so you can find them there. Okay, so Ken actually just texted me another question. I love it. Ken, please. I know you probably don't listen to these, but keep sending me questions. This is awesome. I wish more people would do this so I would have like real material that you want to know. Usually I go back and think about, or I hear a question at the gym and I can build a podcast on that. But this is great. Y'all, send me your questions. Okay, so question of the week. Let me pre-read this. Okay, so question of the week. How do I know when I should move to doing CrossFit every day? With my love, none of this hold on. With love, none of this cliche crap about starting slow. Okay, so he wants the real, like, what should I do? Here's what I would do for everybody. When you want to do CrossFit, go 5 days a week. CrossFit's methodology says, or Greg Glassman or whatever said, you're 3 days on, 1 day off. The problem with that is that creates an 8-day week. So 3 and 1 is 4, 3 and 1 is 4 more. Put those together, it's an 8-day week. It doesn't work. We started the gym with that and quickly realized no one understood when the day off was. Man, I love technology. I just hit pause because I was out of coffee and then got roped into some chores. And now it's like 30 minutes later. So I'm pretty sure I was talking to you about how often you should work out. CrossFit does an 8-day week. And we did that at the gym at the beginning, and it was horrible. And we quickly changed that to, okay, we're open every day except for Saturday and Sunday. So we were 5 days a week. That's just what we did. No one wanted to coach on Saturdays and Sundays, so we didn't. Plus, we were doing a lot of events, so we did events on the Saturdays and Sundays. Anyway, what I would recommend is start your schedule and don't stop it. So 5 days a week. I like going in the morning. Sukania and Thanusha are evening ladies who are now going to start coming to the morning. And you're going to find, at least most of us do, that getting it done first gets it done and stuff doesn't get in the way. Now, some of you guys who come in the afternoon, I like the fact that you can. It doesn't get in your way, like life, I mean. So you're going to the gym and life doesn't get in the way. I can't do that. I don't know what is wrong with me, but I can't stop life from getting in the way, so I need to do it in the morning. I, as a matter of fact, started waking up at 5:30 in the morning so I could get to the 6 a.m. class because I also want some community. And one of my best friends long-term, Justin LeBrec, says, you know what? I need to go to the gym at 6 a.m. because when I do, I'm consistent. And I'm like, you know what? I've been bouncing between 6 a.m. and 7:30. I'll try to go with you. So now we have an accountability between two buddies who not only do CrossFit together, but we played D&D and board games together, went to Georgia Tech together. We've done life together. We do a lot of stuff together. It makes it more engaging. This is why we're trying to build community for you guys. Anyway, or build community with you guys, with people you already know, like, and trust. So go 5 days a week. And the way I would set it up is Monday, I'm going to do what the coach says. Tuesday, I'm sorry, let me take that back. I am always going to do what the coach says. But Monday, I'm going to listen to the coach. Tuesday, I'm going to go easy. So easy, I'm going to disappoint everybody. I maybe would just row or bike, or maybe, do super slow movements, a quarter of the weight, whatever, just move. And then Wednesday, back to listening to the coach. Thursday, go super easy. And then Friday, do whatever the coach says. So that gives me 3 days of training that would be at the appropriate level that the coach says. Now, I backed off on the other 2 days. I would do that for probably 2 or 3 weeks until I got used to how my muscles felt, right? And the feeling of, wow, I'm using all of my body. This is so weird. The number of times people have come in and said, now I'm good, let's do this thing. And they do the workout and they don't listen to me. And the next day they say, I'm wrecked. It's incountable in 20 years. I just wish they would listen, and many people don't. So I would do that for 3 weeks. And then I would add Tuesday in as a normal work day and see how that goes. I would do that for maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then I would add Thursday in. Now I have 5 days of movement. What I'm trying to see is, can my body tolerate that? Do I need more recovery? Do I need to roll more? Do I need to stretch more? Do I need to make Wednesday my recovery day? So now I go Monday, Tuesday, take off Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, and then take off the weekends. Rebecca's been doing that for years and it works great for her. I think CrossFit 4 days a week is probably the right amount. The problem is I always miss something here or there. So I put it on my calendar for 5 because there's 5 work days and it just makes life easier. So that's what I would do. I would build into it. I would start with 5 and just get the routine and the habit down, because I know after all this time, 1, consistency is the thing that really works, and 2, habit makes consistency possible. So get into the habit. Okay, let me see what else I want to talk about with you guys today. Okay, this is going to be funny. It's a podcast for some of you and a YouTube video for some of you. Those that are watching this are now watching me. So I've pulled up my own YouTube channel, and now I forgot why I did it. Son of a gun. Hold on. Let me pause you and think about what I was going to say. Oh, I know. So I'm doing 2 things that I thought you guys would be interested in. I got this foot bath detoxing thing. I'm going to do a bigger podcast on it next week. But if you're into stuff like getting healthier, they told my kid who has diagnosed with Crohn's, hey, detox. One of the things you can do is this foot bath. So I got this detoxing foot bath, and it's crazy. Everyone in their family that uses it, weird stuff comes out of your foot. So basically it uses, I'll do a whole podcast on it, but basically it's using electricity and pulling ions and stuff out of your feet. It's disgusting. And I can imagine really what's in your feet. Like the blood looking color makes sense because, hey, it's pulling out blood, I guess, because, blood's got iron in it and that's got an electrical charge. So it's pulling, yeah. But then there's other stuff like green goo, or one of my kids thought they saw a worm of some sort. I'm like, maybe that was an air bubble. I don't know. Then there's clumps of metal. Like, what is the metal and why is it all clumpy? What's going on? So it's crazy and gross, but super fascinating. So that's a foot bath detox. I'm also doing that giving blood. So I guess I need another 8 weeks for that. The thing I really wanted to show you though was this Blue Ridge Adventure Race. And let me pull it up and turn down the sound so I don't get banned for my own video. How do I stop the sound? I don't know how to, oh, there it is right there. No sound. Okay, so it's just got a picture of the topo maps. I wanted to kind of describe this a little bit to you. Because we are in Blue Ridge, there's roads. The big white lines are roads. I know, right? Crazy. You can even see they drew in some buildings. We don't typically go to the buildings, but the race started and stopped in downtown Blue Ridge, so that's, of course, roads. I've got a circle here, so if you can read really small, there's in black, it says CP1 with this little teeny blue line or circle around where the checkpoint's supposed to be. That is supposed to be about 100-foot circle. It's not always that. I have a hard time seeing those, so I always go through the map and I draw big red on there. And so I've got a red circle around their blue circle with the number 1 because I knew it's a CP. And I did an arrow go, hey, we're going to be going this way. So it's ways that I kind of tell myself what's going on. But this is what the maps will look like. Now, next to the number 1, there's a green space, and then there's brown wavy lines. The brown wavy lines are denoting the elevation of the ground. So if you go over here to the right, there is a circle brown line. That means it's the top of whatever the elevation is, right? And then it's going to slide down into this blue bit, which is, of course, water. So this is what you're looking at for the race. And if you look at this and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, that's totally fine. September 20th, come out with us. We'll teach you how to read this map. It's not that hard. If you'll need a compass, you'll need a backpack with some water, a bike, and the rest of it you can rent from them. So this is going to be awesome stuff. You guys should join us. I think that's it. That's what I did want to show you. I did not get to race with Evie. It makes me a little bit sad, but we did 2 years of racing together. She may or may not come back. This race is during cross-country season, so she would be killing it if she did it with me. But, 17-year-old girls want to hang out with their friends, not their dad over the weekend. So that, I get it. But I would certainly have enjoyed and would love to race with her again. Guys, parents, if your kids ever say, can I do a thing like this? Yes. Let them come with you and figure it out. Spending time with your kids when they're young is a given. That's going to happen. They need you. As they get older, they become people, which is what you want. But they want to go do their own thing. So that's good. You want them to want to do their own things. But you also, you want to be available in case something does come up and spend time with them because it becomes infrequent. I'm sure when they have kids, they totally want you around again. All right, guys. Hey, this is Andy McCann. I am here in Woodstock, Georgia. And if you're near us, come join us at CrossFit Garage. You are going to love it. If you're into this adventure-y stuff or just wanting to become a better human, then we're into that too. We have groups that we're doing. If you're not around us at all, you can join, GarageFitness.online. I can't even remember my own stuff. So guys, take care. And if you need me, email me, Andy@CrossFitGarage.com.